Hello, this is Darren from Ilkeston Web Design. I'm making this video to point out a few potential pitfalls with your WordPress website. Whether you have a website already or whether you're thinking of having one, if you are going to go the WordPress route, just be aware that if your website isn't being actively managed on a regular basis, then you might find that it actually disappears, it goes offline, it becomes corrupted, because it's not being kept up to date in the back end. So what happens if you don't keep your WordPress website software and the web hosting software up to date? Quick story. A few days ago, a client called me up and he told me that his WordPress website was suddenly not working. He typed in the URL, couldn't access the website. It's just a white screen, blank screen, nothing. No error message, nothing. No indication of the problem at all. And this is serious, really, because his business was getting 2 or 3 leads a week, which, because of the value of those inquiries, that's a lot of money. The entire business strategy was predicated on the website, and all that traffic, well, I'd say 2/3 of it were coming from organic search. And yes, the WordPress website disappeared from search altogether. That can happen. If your WordPress website or any website goes offline for a prolonged period of time, Google will think, okay, so this website has gone. What, has the business shut down? What? So they de-index all of your pages from the Google index, which is not good news if you're depending on those rankings for your business inquiries. So I did some digging and found out that it had gone offline around November the 15th. And this is Google Analytics 4. And you can see that there's some activity there. Now, so Google Analytics 4 was installed around April 2023, and around November the 15th, 2023, it's just gone. There's no indication that the website is, online anymore. So it's now January, middle of January, and this went offline middle of November. Not good. So how did this happen? Well, when the WordPress core or the WordPress plugins, or indeed things like web hosting, PHP versions aren't kept up to date, several negative consequences can arise, one of which is losing your organic ranking. Picture this, your iPhone, your Android phone, you have apps on it, right? You have software that runs it, iOS or indeed the Android software. And then you've got, let's say, Messenger, YouTube, LinkedIn. These are apps that have to be updated, and you do update them, right? Otherwise, they slow down, they break, they don't work as well as you expected. There's a popular contact form plugin called Contact Form 7, and that needs to be kept up to date, and that will receive regular pending updates to patch it for functionality, for security. If the WordPress core software has updated, then this plugin needs to be kept up to date as well. If you were getting a lot of email inquiries through the form and suddenly you're not, that could be that the plugin has broke because it's not being kept up to date, and it can be costly to get everything back online. So if your entire website goes offline, it's going to probably cost you more to get somebody to come in and try and retrieve it. I was able to log into the host and get the files in the database, but it was difficult to get it all working again. I sort of managed to patch it all back together again and eventually got it back up online again. So the potential issues you're looking at when you don't update WordPress software is security vulnerabilities, compatibility issues, performance degradation, bugs and errors, lack of new features, lack of support, and of course the search engine impact. That's one of the biggest ones of all. Let's say you've built a WordPress website and it's an e-commerce store, right? And that's WooCommerce. That has to be kept up to date on a regular basis because that gets updated every couple of weeks. And if you don't update that over a period of, say, 6 months, things might start to break. So outdated versions can result in compatibility issues. The whole thing can break. The entire website can malfunction. Older software means that the website can be slow to load. The user experience isn't very good. Outdated software on WordPress and PHP can be hacked. You get hackers creating software that goes out specifically looking to hack WordPress websites, so that they will just try and hack with brute force. Brute force is a term used in hacking. It means that it'll try millions of different combinations of usernames and passwords to try and get in. So it's like every website is a moving target. And I know that WordPress are always trying to keep up to date with their competitors. Like they're trying to be a little bit more like Wix in some respects. And they've got this thing called the full site editing experience with blocks and things like that, which are like drag and drop. So you want to really be keeping as up to date as you can, so you get all the latest features and functionality. And also in your web host, PHP version 8 has started to become the standard. A lot of websites might still be stuck on PHP 7.4. I had some issues. So somebody came to me with a website which, for some reason, certain plugins could not be updated. They just couldn't be updated. And I was on the phone to the 123 Reg hosting support trying to troubleshoot this. And we were unable to upgrade from 7.4 to 8.0, the PHP version. Turns out there was a line of code in a file which was preventing us from upgrading. And once I was able to make that upgrade, I could actually update the plugins and WordPress itself, which solved a lot of the bug issues. So there's all these side quests and irritating things that you've got to do before you can just do the simple task of updating WordPress and the plugins. The search engine ranking impact is the one thing I do not want to happen to you. If your website is predicated on inbound search leads, you're in a dangerous position. The other thing is be careful about updating stuff, because I often get nervous about updating plugins, especially if it's like a big one and like there's core functionality which depends on it. If it's just updating, the contact form or whatever, yeah, I'd update that on the live website. Then I will submit a message to make sure it's still going through to the recipient. But if it's something like WooCommerce, and say you got 10,000 products on your store and you hit the update button and then you get the white screen, it's like, shit, what's just happened? Can I go back? Can I reinstall the old version? You don't want that happening on a live website. If you're going to make those changes, try it out first on a test version and then do it on the live version. So in conclusion, I'd say do regular maintenance, get somebody to help you if you're not able to do that. It works out cheaper to have someone, say on a retainer every month or every 2 months, who comes in and checks the website. They update stuff, they take a backup, they test everything, they make sure everything's going like clockwork. It's better to do that than leave it for a year and then one day the website just isn't working because there's all these pending updates which haven't been fulfilled. You don't want to be spending hundreds and hundreds of pounds if it's an emergency. You don't want to be in that position ever. So hope this was helpful, and get in touch if you need help with your website. Thanks. Bye.